I am so excited because I haven't done REN in so long. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 money games. We got a lot of content to get through and not a lot of time. So let's do it, do it, do it. All right. Here we go.
It's a strange time we're living in. Bull can put fear in. Higher up the parties, they make us feel inferior. Read one through Parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, stripe, fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorship. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole war burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade. But now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game.
Oh.
Oh, rain,
whoa,
rain, rain,
whoa, whoa,
rain.
whoa, whoa. That line, but money was invented for trade. But now those bits of paper twist hearts make slaves. Like something that was created with such good intentions has been twisted and turned into be something that is, in a lot of ways, like causes a lot of harm to a lot of people. Now we're getting into the catchy chorus part. I feel like Ren always has like that. Oh, I'm like, rain, rain, whatever you said. I don't know. Let's go.
A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we like to point the blame.
Ooh.
It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop.
Okay. True. Okay. What's happening? I'm like, is this guy under the thing supposed to also be him? Like,
This old money game. Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is going to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the mother.
that is a word. That is a word. When did freedom become a reason to hate? Just because you have the freedom to say something doesn't mean that it is not a hurtful thing to say. Doesn't mean that there are not consequences, that there is not pain that is enacted because of the things that you say. Just because you have the freedom to do something doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. A word from God. Okay.
When did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder that's savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome, and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own, and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain.
Okay, it's so good. This is so freaking good. The way that Ren makes social commentaries is so beautiful. I think it's super interesting that this guy has a mask on. It's like he's faceless, right? And it's like when we think about the money game, part of the reason that this game is able to keep going is because people aren't thinking about real individuals that they know that are impacted a lot of the times. They're thinking about like this faceless person, and like it's easier to harm someone who doesn't have a face, who you don't know, who you don't have to look in their eyes.
I don't know you. You do not exist.
And so I just think it's interesting that this masked person playing the guitar, we don't see their face, and Ren is like being mean to him. And I know Ren would never. Okay.
There's no left, there's no right, in the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way.
But like catchy always.
And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we like to
This
point
has
the
the
blame,
same texture
blame,
to me of
blame,
like
blame.
suicide. Like
It's
the
easier to
so
blame.
sad, so powerful, but the chorus is like so catchy and light.
We're all part of this whole money game.
We're also part of the problem. Oh no. No. Why though? Is he killing him?
This whole money game. This old money game.
You guys, what? Yeah, this is really interesting because it's like we. No. It's interesting that now he has eyes. Give him eyes. And he's not gonna do it. But the whole point of this song is like, we look at other people and we're like, you're the problem, you're playing the money game. But the truth is like, we are also a part of it. We also play a role and are complicit in the suffering of others. And I feel like this song is a call to look at that. Like this song feels like it's about, my headline for the song is like hypocrisy. Let's give the song's headlines. There's 3 of them, so let's see how they fit together. But I think like this one really feels like it's about hypocrisy of like you that's listening to this is also complicit in the suffering of others. And the only way to recognize and change that is by becoming aware of the hypocrisy that lies within you and the way that you participate in upholding systems that hurt other people. Oh, no, why? Ren, no. No. That is just a lot on my nervous system. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're gonna go to part 2 in a second, but that was really interesting. And I think like, when we think about hypocrisy, it's often apparent in more than just like the political systems we uphold. It's also apparent in our day-to-day lives. Like often the things that we get the most upset with other people about are things that we have left unchecked inside of ourselves. We get upset with other people for not having empathy, or we get upset with other people for the decisions they make around, relationships. But we may have some of those same tendencies inside of us that remain unchecked. And all of us are hypocritical in one way or another. And this song is calling to light to like, look at the hypocrisy. You're pointing at these people while you're pointing in a mirror because you're part of this problem too. We all are a part of this problem. And in order to change it, we have to reduce the hypocrisy around it. Okay, let's do part 2. So money games, number 1. I'm titling Hypocrites. Y'all hypocrites. Y'all hypocrites. Okay. Same vibe.
Strange time we're living in, panic and hysteria. Poor man learn, the rich man don't care for your narcissist mindset spread like malaria. Sit back and watch the show. America, Britain split through fickle shit. A government of hypocrites. These counterfeit politicians sit in parliament, not adequate. Come on. Needlessly bleeding resources all dry. Turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. Oh, what a shame it would be, I would die if number 10 Downing Street burned in a fire. Only joking, only messing, don't be stressing. I'm a peaceful adolescent, there's no need to be unpleasant. Write my thesis in a rhyme scheme to analyze the brain while my fingers on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies. Poison in the veins, but we like to point the blame. It's easier to blame, but point the the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
We're all part of it. Okay. Panic.
This whole money game.
So interesting.
Money is a game and the ladder we climb turns a saint into a sinner with his fingering crime. I'll break it down for you motherfuckers line by line. This is business economics in a nursery rhyme. She sells seashells on a seashore, but the value of these shells will fall due to the laws of supply and demand. No one wants to buy shells because there's loads on the sand. Step one, you must create a sense of scarcity. Shells will sell much better if the people think they're rare, you see. Bear with me, take as many shells as you can find and hide them on an island. Stockpile them high until they're rarer than a diamond. Step two,
So interesting.
the people think that they want them, really fucking want them. Hit them like Bronson. Influencers, product placement, featured primetime entertainment. If you haven't got a shell, then you're just a fucking waste man. Free, it's monopoly. Invest inside some property. Start a corporation, make a logo, do it properly. Shells must sell, that will be your new philosophy. Swallow all your morals, they're a poor man's quality. 4. Expand. Clear forest, make land.
Swallow
Fresh
all your
blood on
morals, they're a
hands. 5.
poor
Why
man's
just
quality.
shells? Why limit yourself? She sells seashells, sell oil as well. 6. Guns, sell stock, sell diamonds, sell rock, sell water
the
to a
process
fish,
of
sell the
greed.
time to a clock. 7. Press on the gas, take your foot off the brakes. Then run to be the president of the United States. 8. Big smile, make big wave, that's great. Now the truth is overrated, tell lies out the gate. 9. Polarize the people, controversy is the game. It don't matter if they
interesting how
hate
it
you, if they all say your
progressively-
name. 10. The world is yours. Step out on the stage to a round
Like
of
the clips
applause.
get progressively
You're a
more
liar,
serious, that
cheat,
Hitler's
the
in there
devil,
now? That's
a whore,
crazy.
And you sell seashells on the seashore. Rain, rain. A storm, it comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies. Poison in the veins, but we not upon the blame. It's easier to blame. But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game.
So interesting. This song, it's like, I just think it's so good. Like these first two feel like social commentaries, which I think Ren is so talented. So talented with these social commentaries. And it's like they're wanting us to do something and they're wanting to show us something. And I think with that first one is like hypocrisy, we're all part of it. And the second one is like about greed. And it feels like a lack of empathy, especially with the imagery of Hitler at the end. It's like a requirement for this money game is to not see the people that you are harming as people. You have to dehumanize them. You have to have a lack of empathy towards them. You know, it's maybe a chicken and the egg situation. A greed leads to lack of empathy or lack of empathy leads to greed. But it's like this process is such a greedy one of like more. It's never enough in the money game. I think it's really interesting. Like when we think about money and what it signals to us, it signals our value in a way. And that can be, when we think about hypocrisy, really interesting because we often say that we value one thing, but the way that we spend our money, which is literally a currency, isn't the same. It's like, are we greedy with our money? Are we generous with our money?
Show me the money!
Do we spend money on things to help others or help ourselves or to hurt others or to hurt ourselves? Like, where are our values lying? It's just so interesting. So good. It's powerful for him to be like, I get it. I see what's happening here. And we need to all like open our eyes and recognize it. And I feel like the song is supposed to be a call to action of like, we got to do something. You have to see your part in this and you have to see what it leads to.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I didn't do.
One thing I think is interesting about these first two songs is like the problem can feel so big. And I see this a lot with my clients when we're talking about political issues, when we're talking about societal issues, societal problems. It's like, this problem is so big. What do you want me to do about it? It's like my area of concern is so huge. And that makes it feel overwhelming when we consume this type of media. It makes it feel like I'm just one singular person. And that invites us to be passive instead of to be active and to think about how we are playing this money game. Are we just playing it or are we examining it? Because if we're just playing it, it will eventually play us. But like, are we being thoughtful about the ways that we are participating when our circle of concern, like I'm concerned about this societal problem, is huge? Are we doing what we can do, which is enacting our circle of influence and our circle of control and spreading awareness there? Because that's the only way our circle of influence and control grows, is if we use what we do have to make the change that we do have. And this relates to mental health too. Like when our problems feel so big and so overwhelming, it's like we want to just take a passive approach because it's like, oh, what can I actually do about this? This is so huge. But the reality is that passiveness allows the problems to keep playing you and to keep playing out. And all you can do when your circle of concern is huge, is so much bigger than you know what to do with, is focus on your circle of control and your area of influence and work one step at a time. And that might not feel like a lot, but once you work in that, you realize that it grows and it expands. And like, it's so much easier. I think it's so interesting that Money Game 1 is first because it like primes us for how we think about Money Game 2. Because I feel like if Money Game 2 came first, it would be like, oh yeah, these people, they're the problem. But Money Game coming first is like, you're tempted. It's easier to think that these other people are the problem, that these other people are the cause of everything. But like, you play a part in this too. We all play a part in our own and in the suffering of others. It's important to look at that. Part 3. Oh my gosh, this is a long one. Let's do it. Oh, we're at a piano. Big fan of the opera. Oh my gosh. No. Kind of amazing that he's playing that without a mask on. This one already sounds different than the other two. Like, I get the art of it all, Ren, but it makes me sad. This one also only came out 10 months ago. The other one's 4 years ago, so it's a long time between parts. Interesting. I know Ren did like a treasure hunt, which is so cool. It's so cool the way he engages his community. It's amazing. Love him. Mad respect for his art. So the headlines for our songs are like, first one I feel like is hypocrisy. Second one I feel like lack of empathy. What do we got here, Ren? His voice is so good.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, gimme.
You guys, never has Ren ever, in my experience, been like, let me tell you a story about a specific person, and it's a happy, good story. I'm thinking The Tale of Jenny and Screech. I'm thinking Violet's Tale. I don't feel like this is going to be a happy story. I'm already scared for Jimmy.
I'm in danger.
And for myself. Okay, here we go. Strapped in.
2 years old, he was walking. 3 years old, walking quickly. 4 years old, he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old, and his daddy told him, listen here, son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his regression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations at 15.
Jimmy's dad is not helping him, you guys. He is not instilling good values into his son. This poor kid. And he's like trying so hard just to make his dad proud. And he's like a little baby genius. Okay.
Money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can.
No.
19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns that truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23.
Truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, a lie will sell itself. Bro, no. I hate this. Jimmy's so in the money game, and it's like from his dad. It's all just everything is everything, and
A life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place.
He's just trying to make his dad
for his
proud.
daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the popo inside of his pocket.
no.
35, he gets a call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his
And he never
product.
felt like he got
37,
his
eyes
approval.
glazed, disposition demonic. 38,
gosh.
with a prostitute, a moment of passion.
Now he's
Heating
like-
up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a
Yeah.
move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Okay. Now Ren is Jimmy. Okay. You guys, this is making me sad. It's interesting, like, now that the money game is personal, there's a person, there's a face, there's Jimmy, there's a story. And we see how even the people who are at the top of the money game, it negatively impacts them too. It's not a good system for anyone.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed
What is
the
that?
words, mine, gimme. 40
It sounds
when he
like-
wasn't walking. 42 not walking quickly. 43 never running round the pavements of his city. 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold, but those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, I don't know what that sounded like, but it sounds like something. I can't put my finger on it. But wow. It's so powerful the way that he uses the personal to invite people to care. Like when we see Jimmy, we see an example, and along the way, it's like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's easier for me than for other people, but I feel like it's easy to have empathy for Jimmy given his dad, right? And it reminds me of like once we hear the tale of Screech, we have empathy for him and his actions make a lot more sense when you understand what was done to him and what's happened to him. And the same thing with Jimmy, but it's interesting because it's like the person that we're having empathy for is often the person that we would think and we would blame and we would point our fingers for being the problem. But it's like, this money game helps no one. It only hurts people. And we as humans are more likely to act and to support and to help when we feel personally connected to a cause. And so it's really powerful that Ren is giving us this example of Jimmy to feel connected to, like a person to want to change things for, as well as the people who are on the other side of this money game who are negatively impacted by things like poverty. It's just a really interesting way to go about the story.
The way we live is parasitic. Fuck for money and fame. Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
What are we doing, Ren?
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface then consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
It's a cautionary tale, totally. Oh, the rain. Okay. I don't really
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants. He is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate.
No.
With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same.
No.
Here's the words of his father. It's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
No. Oh my. It's so sad, but it's also so brilliant the way that he ties it all together. Like, then he presses on the trigger of the money game. I respect the art so much, but it's such a sad story. It's a tragedy. That song is a tragedy. Violet, it's a Screech, it's a Jenny. Wow. If we think of it like a math equation, it's like hypocrisy plus a lack of empathy always equals a tragedy. Like it always leads to tragedy. And I think the solution is all of these three parts are pointing to a blindness. Like, this money game gives us permission to be blind to our values, to the way that we participate in something that we say that we hate. That's the hypocrisy. To be blind to other people and the way they're impacted. That's the lack of empathy. And when we continue to give ourselves permission to be blind, we will crash into tragedy. What is Ren calling us to do? And I think the answer, the solve to the equation is humility. It's the ability to look at yourself and to say, where am I wrong? Humbly. Where can I look into myself and see that I'm having a negative effect on the world? Where can I look inside myself and say, I'm a part of this problem? It's interesting because humility is also the requirement for making change in your mental health. In order to start and progress in your mental health, you have to be humble enough to say that there is something wrong, and the thing that is wrong is not out there, it's in here. And sure, there are probably things that are wrong out there. But societal problems are usually just a reflection of the collective's internal problems. Problems in the real world can also reveal problems in our soul, and we have to be humble enough to say and to see that. And humility is the solve for these money games. for this hypocrisy, this lack of empathy for this tragedy. It's like, if we don't want A plus B to equal C, we have to do D, and D is humility. We have to be able to say, like, there is wrongness out there, but there is also wrongness in here. And this wrongness in here is something that I can take control of. I can handle. This is something I can ask for help for. This is something I can work on. There is something I can do with the wrongness in here, even when I don't feel like I can act change out there. But the truth is when we deal, when we work on the wrongness inside, we will see the world start to shift around us. Like, imagine if everyone just faced their mental health with humility. This series, it's so beautiful. I love Ren. I'm so grateful for the way that he makes the political personal, like the social commentaries to like a personal story that makes people feel, because when people feel, they want to act. He calls us to do something in his music. He calls us to think differently. I'm obsessed with Ren. We're so grateful. One of my favorite things that we did with Ren is we created a fourth story for Call for Backup. We expanded on it, so check that out if you haven't already. And then Hi Ren is our most viewed reaction video. So we love Ren. We're so grateful for him and the art that he creates. And if you are feeling like you need to be humble and admit that there's something wrong inside of you, please share it in the comments by tagging out HeartSupport. Please, please, please. And if you want to be someone who walks alongside people, humbly walks alongside them on their journey to healing, if you want to enact change, be a part of positive change in the world, you can take one step with us by signing up to volunteer. We need people like you to volunteer. So please, please, please do it. I'm so grateful for you. I love you. Subscribe.